Hello Year Ones, welcome to our lesson today. We are learning key facts about planets today. Do you remember our story, Whatever Next, where Baby Bear finds the moon a bit boring? Well, he would like to visit a planet next. So this week we're going to give him some more information about a planet and see if he'd like to go there. Today you'll be choosing a planet to research and learn about. Listen as I go through the key facts of all of the planets, and then just choose one of those planets and we'll create a mind map today of your chosen planet. You will use your mind maps tomorrow to create your fact file. So this is the order of the planets in our solar system. You might remember the order from our songs that we used to sing in class or from the song we did the other day. So first is Mercury, and next comes Venus, then Earth, Mars, Jupiter, next it's Saturn, Uranus, and then Neptune. So Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun and Neptune is the furthest planet from the Sun. We can use an acronym to help us remember this. This is a very silly one. It says, "My very excited mother just served us nachos." Can you say that with me? My very excited mother just served us nachos. That helps us to remember the order. So my starts with and so does Mercury. Very starts with v, and so does Venus. Excited starts with e, and so does Earth. So that helps us to remember. I'm going to close my eyes and see if I can name all the planets in the correct order. You can do it with me if you like, so cover up your eyes. Okay, first is Mercury for my. Very starts with v, so I think that must be Venus. So we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and last was Neptune, so that must be Neptune. Did I get them all right? Yes, I did. You can do that yourselves. Pause the video when I get to 1 if you'd like to have a go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, superstars. Okay, so the first planet that we're going to learn about is Mercury. Listen to all of these planets and then you can go back to the video, to the PowerPoints to choose your favourite. Mercury is the first planet in our solar system. It's the closest to the Sun. It is a rocky planet. It is the smallest planet. Mercury has no moon and it takes 88 days to orbit the Sun. That's about 3 months. That sounds like a long time, but Earth takes 365 days to go around the Sun. So Mercury goes around the Sun a little bit quicker than Earth. Next it's Venus. Venus is also a rocky planet. It's the hottest planet in our solar system. It has thick clouds and it has no moon. Next it's Earth, another rocky planet. Most of Earth is covered by oceans. It spins at 1,000 miles an hour, so on its axis it spins around at 1,000 miles per hour. It has one moon, as we know. It takes 24 hours to spin all the way around. Oh. So it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and it takes 24 hours to spin all the way around. It takes a whole year to orbit around the Sun. So that's 365 days to go all the way around the Sun. That's where we get our years from. It's the only planet that has life, plants, animals, and people. After Earth is Mars. Mars is another rocky planet. It has huge volcanoes and it has 2 moons. One's called Phobos and one's called Deimos, and they're shaped like a potato. It looks red because there is a lot of iron in the rocks on its surface. Iron is a metal that rusts and it turns red when it rusts. I am fascinated about Mars, so that's something that you might like. You might like to research that planet at home with a grown-up. Next is Jupiter. Jupiter is a gas giant. It's the biggest planet in our solar system and has a huge storm which is 3 times the size of planet Earth. Can you see the red spot on Jupiter there? It's called the Great Red Spot and that is the storm. It takes 12 years to orbit around the Sun. Jupiter has 63 moons. Next it's Saturn, another gas giant. Saturn has thousands of rings made up of billions of bits of icy rocks and dust. It has at least 53 moons, and Saturn could float in water because it's made of gas. Next is Uranus, another gas giant. It's tipped on its side. Do you remember the song? Uranus sings about being tipped on its side, and it spins around on its side. Uranus is the coldest planet. It takes 84 years to orbit the Sun. And in a spaceship, it would take 8 years to get there. And finally, there's Neptune, the last planet in our solar system, another gas giant. Neptune is the furthest planet from the Sun. It has winds that blow more than 1,000 miles per hour. Very, very windy and stormy. And it has a big storm, just like Jupiter. Can you see this dark spot here? That's the storm. It's called the Great Dark Spot. It takes 165 years to travel around the Sun. I hope you enjoyed learning about those planets with me. We're going to make a mind map together. So do you remember we did a mind map the other day where we put what we're learning about, or our header, in the middle, and we put our arrows around the outside? That's what we're going to do in a moment. So I'm going to do one first, all about Neptune, and then it will be your turn to do one about your favourite planet. So remember, when you do yours, I find it best to put my board or paper landscape. So that's when we have the top and the bottom are the longest edges, the longest sides. That's portrait, that's landscape. So I find it easier to do landscape, and then I've put Neptune in the middle. So whatever planet you're doing, you write that in the middle, and you can draw a picture of your planet in the middle, and then put a bubble around it. That makes it stand out from everything else, and that's where your arrows are going to come from. So I'm just going to use the PowerPoint, which you can do as well. But you don't have to write in full sentences. We haven't written in full sentences for some of our notes already on this PowerPoint. And you could draw pictures, whatever you think is going to help you to remember information about your planet. And you will be using this tomorrow to write your fact file. So this is for you. So make notes on. Okay, so it says right at the top that it's a gas giant. So I'm going to write that. So it doesn't need to be a full sentence. I'm just going to write gas giant. Gas giant. And this is where you can use different colours if you have them. It says it's the furthest planet from the Sun. So I could write that down, or I could draw a picture. I'm going to draw a picture of the Sun. And then I'm going to draw all 8 planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll put an arrow there. And that reminds me that Neptune is the furthest planet from the Sun. Or it says it has winds that blow more than 1,000 miles per hour. So I'm going to draw the winds. This is what I think of the wind. That reminds me of the wind. And that key information there, 1,000 miles per hour. So I'm going to write 1,000. And then I know that mph means miles per hour. So that will help me remember how windy it is. And it says it has a big storm like Jupiter called the Great Dark Spot. So again, you might, if you have different colours, use a different colour for the arrow and that same colour for the writing. But don't worry if you just have a handwriting pencil. So I'm going to draw the Great Dark Spot, and I'm going to put an arrow to it. Now I might not remember, if I look at this and pick this up again, I might not remember what it's called. So I will write the Great Dark Spot underneath. The Great, it's a name, so I'm going to start capital for the and a capital for great. Great Dark, remember R, A and R, K, Dark Spot. So capital S, 'cause it's still the name, spot, So that will help me remember a Great Dark Spot. And it takes 165 years to travel around the Sun. So I'm going to add that here. I'm going to draw the Sun. And I'm going to draw Neptune. I'm just circle, so it's orbiting around the Sun. and 165 years. I'm going to write, so that will help me remember. Okay, so this is my mind map. You'll have a go at doing yours in a moment. Once you've done your mind map, can you use it to tell a partner information about your planet? So I'm going to see if I can do that now. So I've got Neptune. See if you can remember what your notes mean or what your pictures mean. So Neptune is a gas giant. It's the furthest planet from the sun. It has a great dark spot on it, which is a storm, a huge storm. It takes 165 years to orbit around the sun, and it's very windy. It has winds that blow more than 1,000 miles per hour. Okay, I think my mind map's pretty good because I remembered everything. If you don't know what it is that you've put on your mind map when you read it back or when you look at it, then just go back to the PowerPoint and add a bit more information. Okay, so when well, I was going to say when I get to one, but it'll be the end of our lesson. So when this video finishes, get your paper and your pencils. Coloured pencils or coloured pens is fine. Handwriting pencil is fine if you don't have colours. Choose your planet. So you might need to rewind the video to find a planet. And then you can use the PowerPoints and all the facts that are next to me or will be next to me. You could also research your planet on the internet. But remember that you must be with an adult when you're searching on the internet. And you might also want to listen to the planet songs that we've listened to as well, because they give us information about the planets too. So that's something that you can do also with a grown-up on the internet. Okay, enjoy our lesson. Bye everybody.